Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. I've got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, break 3 to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it to Rizzo. It's ENCORE. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome, Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, baby. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page, go to Shawn and Maya, like that page as well. So not only will you be Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. You're watching us on our YouTube channel. Excellent. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. Come on, man. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button. But also click the notification button. That's the little bell right next to it. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you watch this on our mobile app, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on, baby. Listen. Here's what you do. Wherever you get your apps from. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from. All right, you go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on a Roku channel, I like that kind of part of the debate. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Put us there next to the big boys. Netflix, Hulu, Prime, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Apple Plus, Paramount Plus, Hulu. Oh, I said Hulu. Stars. Oh, yeah, it's coming out in March, baby. Raising Canaan. Next season's coming out March 7th. That's what I'm talking about. But I digress. Put us there on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen, right, Mickey? Vicky, now, if you want to tweet the show, you can tweet us at SportsZoneShy. That's CHI at SportsZoneShy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Man, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it to the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. Let's check out the chat, because the chat is jumping. I like it. I like it a lot. Man, Black Diamond is up and early. He's the first one in the chat. It's top of the morning, Shawn, in chat. Well, that was an ass-beating and prime example why you build the Trent's crazy idea, huh? Black Diamond, shut up. You shouldn't be telling secrets like that. No one else knows that. No one else knows you build the offensive line first. Shh. Shh. Stop it. Livette Lee's in the house. Good morning, Mama. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Be smooth. Brian Hendren's in the house. Good morning. He says, good morning, Black Diamond and Livette. My man, Michelle Wall said, good morning. The house music Monday morning and wings flying high in Philly. Yes, they are. Yes, they fly, Eagles fly, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Fly, Eagles fly. I can't tell you. Let me tell you something. I was so freaking happy. And Michelle, yes, he ended up doing freaking burpees this morning. Damn, those stupid burpees, bro. I was pissed. 60 burpees we had to do. Jesus Christ, man. When I saw that, I told you, whenever I see burpees, I immediately think of you, dude. I'm like, damn. It's just not not fun. Because I'm like, who created this? Like, who created the thought of jumping, falling, throwing yourself on the ground? Okay. And then jumping back up. Stupid. So I thought of you this morning, dog. Junior with his fat finger says, fly, Raggles, fly. I think he meant to say Eagles. But fly, Raggles, fly. All right, Raggles. That's awesome. That is awesome. Fly, Raggles, fly. I love it. Ant Moss, what's up? Bye-bye. He says, bear down, Shawn. Hey, bear down, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, snap. He is back. By popular demand, my man King Booker World in the house. Missed you the other day, dog. Missed you last week. You're coming a little late. That's all right. As long as you're here, Papa, that's all that matters. I know you missed one day, but that's cool. Oh, you're a damn fool. You starting your shit already, huh, King Booker World? Breaking news. Canada has officially denounced Drake as a citizen of its country. In social report, he will be banished to the land of Death Valley. Dude, Kendrick Lamar's. Dude, he roasted him yesterday in his set. Holy cow. Oh, man. Rick Gonzalez in the house, baby. Says, good morning, everyone. Carter was manhandling Trey Smith. Thank God we drafted right instead of Carter. No. Trey Smith had one bad game. Let's not get crazy. Carter was a monster. Don't get me wrong. Carter was a monster. But there's a reason Trey Smith's going to be commanding $20 million a year. There's a reason. Definitely a reason. He had one bad game. Hey, James Daniels handled Aaron Donald first time he played when he played him as a rookie. James Daniels, the kid from Iowa, the one that we let walk away from us. Yeah, that one. We faced the Rams when he was when he was a rookie. He was playing left guard. And he faced Aaron Donald, and he handled him big time. Big time. Jason, UK Bears, he's checking in. Top of the afternoon to you, buddy. He says, good afternoon, chat. And Shawn, not been around for a while. Been crazy busy, but good to catch up with you all. Eagles were pretty damn good last night. Hey, I hear you, Jason, man. Life gets in the way sometimes, man. We just we gotta handle our business. Hey, believe me, no hard feelings. I ain't mad at you, Papa. Shit, life gets in the way. We all got shit we gotta handle, and sometimes it takes us away from things we want to do, things we gotta do. So I appreciate you when you can check in, man. Whatever you can, please do. All right. Junior. Armando Emeterio, Lara. Junior is in the house. Look what happens when the refs aren't involved in a KC game. Hey, and I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is what we were hoping for. This is why we wanted, or I personally wanted. I know a lot of other people wanted. This is why we wanted Lamar to be able to beat Patrick Mahomes. There's a different conversation now. Remember, running quarterbacks can't win. Patrick Mahomes is so special. You need a special quarterback to win. Had Lamar been able to beat Patrick Mahomes one of the last 2 years, well, last year, I wonder how much that would have changed what the Bears did. We're going to talk about that today. Cornelius Squall's in the house. What up? He's at the top of the morning, Brian. Oh, snap. The Plankster's in the house. Planks says, good morning, Shawn. Sports owners, bear down. Bear the freak down, Plankster. James Ford's in the house. Good morning, Shawn. He says, good morning, James. Appreciate you. Yes. Man, everybody exchanging pleasantries in the chat. King Vocal, he did. Kendrick had Drake's ex-crip walking on his grave. Serena, I was like, damn. Serena. Black Diamond, he bodied him, dude. Man, yes. The disrespect was in full effect. Wow. Guys, I have no idea what the hell happened. What the hell? I have no idea what the hell happened. Holy cow. I was buffering, and next thing you know, I was like, boom, what the heck? I think I got to go restart my router. After the show, I'll restart the router, my router, and that's usually what happens. That'll usually get it. Yeah, Jason, I don't know what the hell happened, dude. Yeah, technical difficulties. I'm back. But Shawn, you're a fool. Must be the burpees. So here's what I was so mad. Let me tell you something. I was so pissed. So we had 6 rounds. The workout, we had a couple of things in the beginning. All right, and then the actual workout of the day was this: 6 rounds for time. We had 5 push press, or push jerks. That's where you get up here, you bend your knees and you explode and you dip underneath it. All right, 5 of those and 10 burpees over the bar, lateral burpees over the bar. So that was the workout. So I'm doing, I suck at burpees. I hate burpees. They're stupid. It's my whole attitude toward burpees suck because they're dumb. And so I'm looking and everybody's done. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, I know I ain't that damn slow. I was taking my time because I hate burpees. They're stupid. After class, I'm talking with a few people and they're like, oh, yeah, I cut my burpees down from 10 to like 8 each round. I'm like, damn. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you yell over? Hey, we cut the burpees from 10 to 8. So now, I don't know if I'll ever do the full thing of burpees ever again. Anyway. Anyway. Hey, listen, guys, we got a great show for you at 10 o'clock. Beth Mishler-Elmore, who covers the Bears for Heavy.com, is going to join us. We're going to talk Super Bowl. We're going to talk Bears. Man, a lot to talk. I'm fired up to talk with Beth. Maybe you had too much in your pockets. No. For my burpees? No, burpees are just stupid. I hate them. And the thing about it is, like, I could do them quickly, but I don't have the motivation to do them quickly. I hate them. I feel like a little petulant child. I hate them. 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 I really do. When I see them, I'm just like, so. Emma said, do you still want Trey Smith? Yep. Yep. You can't tell me from one bad game that his whole body of work is rendered irrelevant. Can't do it. All right? Can't do it, won't do it. He's one of the best guards in the league. He was facing one of the best defensive tackles in the league. And that's how it should be. And sometimes you get the best of each other. There are some place in the game that Trey Smith handled Jalen Carter. Let's not get it twisted. It wasn't a complete ass whooping. It was more so Jalen Carter than Trey Smith, but Trey Smith had his moments as well. Let's keep it a buck. All right, stop the hyperbole, stop the exaggeration. But yes, Jalen Carter got the best of Trey Smith yesterday. And you know what? That's what happens when you get two of the best people at their position going at each other. Someone's got to win. And yesterday, Trey Smith was not the winner. That doesn't mean he stinks. That doesn't mean he sucks. Doesn't mean he's worth the $20 million a year he's asking. Doesn't mean that. It means he got handled. He got handled by a Pro Bowler like he handles a lot of Pro Bowlers. Call a buck a buck. Yeah, Carter's name wasn't mentioned a lot. He was disruptive. But Trey had him a couple times. I'm telling you. Trey Smith ain't no punk. He ain't no punk, man, and he handled his own. But he was collapsed. The pocket was collapsing, and then also Mahomes was eluding it. So it wasn't. Yeah. Did he get a sack? I don't know. Let me see. My shoe. Jalen Carter. No sacks for Jalen Carter yesterday. No sacks, no tackles. No tackles for losses. Okay. He had 2 quarterback hits. Okay. Two quarterback hits. Yeah, I just checked it. Fangio's scheme was better than the Nagy scheme. No, bro, listen. This is what happens when you have stud defensive players, bro. This is what happens when you have stud defensive players. And that's the whole thing. You had to figure out. It wasn't a scheme that was better. It was the players that were better. You have to figure out. Fangio's been running the same scheme for how long? But you got to figure out. Sometimes it's not about the X's and O's. It's the Jimmy and the Joes. And yesterday it was the Jimmys and the Joes. When you're able, they didn't. You know how many times they blitzed yesterday? Boop, 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 boop. Zero. The Philadelphia Eagles blitzed 0 times yesterday and still got to Patrick Mahomes 6 times for the sack. Among countless hits. So, yes, I still want Trey Smith. But Vic Fangio's boys, and that's the thing, you got to figure out early in the game, can your D-line get pressure? Because otherwise you're going to have to draw pressure. You're going to have to bring more pressure if your D-line isn't getting home. Well, guess what? The D-line was on one yesterday, and they were getting home. So Fangio's like, shit, I ain't gotta worry. I can drop 7. I dropped 7 in the coverage, and we're good. Yeah, I want Trey Smith. I want Dahlman from the Saints. But here's the one thing, and Olin, I heard him talking this morning. And Olin's, I love listening to him. I love listening to good football people. Why they're not hiring Junior Regals champions? Why they're not hiring former like O-line or former Bears? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. That boggles my mind why they don't do that. Ryan, go Raggles. Here's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Jason, they are now the Raggles. But here's a phenomenal idea of what you do. Here's what you do. This is why Philly has the best offensive line. So you go get Trey Smith. Okay? You go get Dahlman. You got a guard and center. Maybe Kieran Amagaji can play left guard. Okay, fine. But you draft the left guard and you draft the left tackle. Or you draft the right guard. And you know what? These guys are the ones that are going to replace Trey Smith. They're going to replace Dahlman. They're going to replace these guys in 3 years when those contracts are up, or you just don't want to pay those contracts anymore. You watch Pro Bowlers, you get good players to sit behind Pro Bowlers. You draft good players to sit behind Pro Bowlers. And then when the time comes and the contracts get a little long and you want to create some cap space, boom, you can let that particular person, you can let Trey Smith go in 3 years. You can let Trey Smith go in 3 years because we got a guard who's ready to take control, ready to step into the limelight. Or after 2 years, doesn't matter. Guaranteed money will pretty much be gone at that point, so you got to worry about it. And then you replace them with those guys, and now they're on rookie deals. You got 1 year of dead cap money, and then boom, now you're good. But that's what Olin was talking about. Get guys in there get quality players behind Pro Bowlers. Draft quality players behind Pro Bowlers. Especially your Pro Bowlers are getting a little up and long in the tooth. You got to keep replenishing that offensive and defensive line. We don't have any Pro Bowlers on the defensive side of the ball, defensive line. You got to get some. Which is why I'm okay with going to get Myles Garrett. I hope. I highly doubt. I highly doubt Mason Graham will be there at 10. Highly. Possible, but I highly doubt it. Oh, I don't know if you heard that. That was crazy. I highly doubt Mason Graham's there, but if God bless it, if he is, bump all the noise. You take him. Because Abdul Carter is no way he's going to be it. Abdul Carter is probably the number one guy. Abdul Carter is probably the number one overall selection. And that's cool. But if there's a God in this world, and there's some reason Abdul Carter falls, but That's how you do it. You got to you know what you do? You reload. You don't rebuild. You reload. And when you reload, when you start putting your backups in the undrafted free agents and projects, you know what? No. No. Devote the most cap space to your trenches. The most. You're going to find quarterbacks. You're going to find running backs. You're going to find receivers. Those guys are a dime a dozen. But you get a good offensive line, you get a good defensive line, that solves 95% of your problems. 95% of your problems because you can have a good running back or an average running back or an undrafted free agent running back. Tote the rock, looking like a first-round pick, looking like a Heisman Trophy winner. But you have to develop and go into the draft. I mean, you have to develop and fortify offensive and defensive lines. Draft studs to play behind starters, Pro Bowlers. First, we got to get Pro Bowlers. Which is why, again, I don't mind going to get Myles Garrett. I don't. I don't mind going to get Myles Garrett. How much it's going to cost? That's the only issue that I have. Because I mean, they're talking first round to begin with. I don't know if I want to give up a first round pick. But it's going to start with one, and the guy's 29 years old. He's got good 3 or 4 years left. Do you want him there? Does that make Montez Sweat better? Austin Booker, the guy we drafted from Kansas, does he excite you at all? Not really to me. Kid hustles. He hustles. But I like the way Olin talked about it, and you just put these guys on the shelf. Like, boom, get them behind him. You learn. There's no better teacher than the guy who plays in front of you. And so if he's playing at a high level and you're a second string, you're like, man, I got to raise my level of play to that level. My level of play has to be up there for me to even be considered replacing this guy. Or for me to be even considered to have the team move on from him so I can play. So, I love it. Listen, we got to take a quick break. Yes, fly, Eagles, fly, baby. We got to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, all right, we are going to do our top of the morning topics. I just kind of we jumped right into Super Bowl because that was crazy, but we're going to have more Super Bowl talk with Beth Mishler-Elmore at the top of the hour. All right. But before then, we have top of the morning after this break. So keep it locked right here, folks. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Really a point forward. He'll be able to, allow Steph Curry and Buddy Hield to play off the ball.
Good dish off to Vucevic for two. Smith, a trailer, a deep three.
That's from Bloomingdale. Bang, bang, bang.
Kobe White feeling it, beat check.
Bang, bang, bang.
He is. They really like Moses Moody. Curry got caught underneath. Here's Kobe White. Stop and go. Kick to Buzelis. Fakes Green into the air. Drives to the
meet me at the rim and don't be late.
Nice play by Phillips. So Phillips and Terry with Carter, Jones, and Smith. Terry has been dealing with a left knee bone bruise. He's active tonight, though. He puts it in and a chance at a three-point play. But you see how the rotation got.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Chicago Sports Network, baby. That's what we're talking about. The Bullies. Yeah, that was a tough one, though. That was a tough one. But we're going to get into it, guys. You know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's go. First, top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? All right, we'll start. Since we talked about that a little already, we'll talk about this. The Bulls coming out of break. The Bulls fell to the Golden State Warriors at home. My goodness, 132-111. Bulls had a 27-point lead. My goodness, Kobe White led the way with 27 points. Matas Buzelis, I believe, is his sixth consecutive double-digit scoring game. Excellent for the rookie, the 19-year-old from Hinsdale. Jalen Smith, 15 points in the losing effort. Josh Giddey contributed 11. Nikola Vucevic and Io, Chicago's very own Io, each contributed 10 points in the losing cause. Tomorrow, the Bulls host the Detroit Pistons. Detroit sucks. Detroit sucks. The Bulls host the Detroit Pistons tomorrow in a rare, very rare scheduling issue. I don't know, say issue, scheduling matchup of back-to-backs. So they have a back-to-back game, two home games, two back-to-back games, Tuesday and Wednesday against Detroit. Really odd. Sometimes you have home and home. They would play in Chicago, then go to Detroit. But this is actually the first time I've seen them playing the same team twice, 2 nights in a row. First time I've seen it. Odd. But they host the Detroit Pistons. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, first game of back-to-back. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sportsnet or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. Also on Saturday, the Blackhawks. Rough one. Blackhawks lost to the St. Louis Blues 6-5 in a shootout. Artem Soderblom, he stopped 35 of 40 shots. Craig Smith lit the lamp for the 7th time this season. Ryan Donato's 19th goal of the year. Alec Martinez, his 4th goal of the season. Teuvo Teravainen, the veteran, lit the lamp for the 12th time of the year. And Ilya Mikheyev, he's lit the lamp for the 10th time this season. Now, the Blackhawks will be off for 2 weeks. The Blackhawks will be off for 2 weeks. They will next play on February 22nd. Why? Well, glad you asked. Blackhawks will be off for 2 weeks as they are on a break as the Four Nations face-off starts. And those are between four countries: Canada, Finland, Sweden, and the U.S. So it's a 2-week tournament. So the NHL is taking a little breaky break. And yeah. So no more hockey, no more Blackhawks hockey for 2 weeks. Next top of the morning topic. Here it is, baby. Here it is, baby. Man, the game we all watched last night. Super Bowl 59 is in the books. And the Eagles beat the Chiefs, thwarting their three-peat attempt. Beat the Chiefs 40-22. Much close. That game was much worse than that 40-22 score. They scored late a couple times, a couple big plays. Jalen Hurts, he led the way for Philadelphia, 17 of 22 for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and 119.7 ratings. He also had 11 carries, 72 yards, and a brotherly shove, tush-push touchdown as well. He was named the game's MVP, Super Bowl MVP of Super Bowl 59. Saquon Barkley had 25 carries, 57 yards. Devontae Smith, 4 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 3 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, 21 of 32 for 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. He had a 95.4 rating. He also had 4 carries for 25 yards. Xavier Worthy, the speed stop. I don't know why they didn't use him more. He had 8 catches for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jason Kelce was not in the game yesterday at all. Oh, my goodness. He was gone. He was in a brain fog. 4 catches, 39 yards. He had 2 drops. Rough day for Kelce. D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, 2 catches, 18 yards, and a touchdown. And that game was nowhere near this close as the score says. Nowhere near. Swifty Swan Song game, maybe, hopefully. King Book of World, look at you. When Patrick Mahomes throwing TDs at the end of an unwinnable game equals trying to win. Caleb Williams throwing touchdowns at the end of an unwinnable game equals stat padding. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, Brian, what were we talking about? Oh, okay, Brian. You're talking about Cadet Parsons, Mac Crosby, Hendrickson from Cincinnati. Okay. Jason says, I'm getting more and more hype each year as I watch more YouTube content. Yeah. Well, we're not that far off. That's the crazy part. We're not that far off. Armando Jr. said, did you hear Mahomes was yelling at the refs when the ref paused the game? We didn't substitute. I saw that one time when they were in the – I wasn't really paying attention, and I caught the end of it, so that must be what you're talking about, because I do remember them standing in front of the center, right behind the center, so he couldn't snap the ball, and Patrick Mahomes was kind of going crazy. So, crazy when you don't get calls your way. Crazy. Oh, the world knew that Kelsey proposing to old Taylor at the end of a win was going to happen. Cue the Nelson haha track. Oh, man. And why? Listen. I'm tired of Taylor Swift. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan. I know one or two of her songs, I think. That's just because she's everywhere. But I don't know her catalog or anything like that. I just didn't like her bringing this influx of Swifties who don't follow football into the football realm. Oh, because one person on my Facebook timeline had Swift's boyfriend and a football in the middle with 87. See, so this is what's become. I mean, now you're part of that special crew. So now you know what I mean? Like you've seen him and his brother doing a lot of commercials and things like that. His brother's had his own talk show, I think, for a hot second, or is going to have his talk show. You know, yeah, I was just tired of it. I'm done with him. He was shrieking. Shrieking, we did not substitute. What do you mean? I know two more what, dog? I know you know two more than me, Shawn. Oh, two more songs. No, because I remember it was The Rock singing one in one of his movies, because he's part of that club too. But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story, whole nother podcast. But I'll tell you what, it was interesting to watch. I was surprised that Kansas City was unable to muster anything. And we were talking, it was funny. We were talking, we said, if KC doesn't score, where would that drop Patrick Mahomes? See, because everyone's saying, well, if he wins, he's better than Brady. I'm like, you can't compare careers until Patrick Mahomes' career is over. Or until Patrick Mahomes wins seven Super Bowls. And if he does, and he's still playing, well, then you can say, okay, he's overtaken Brady because he has a chance to win another one. But you can't compare. Okay, you can say he has more accolades now than Tom Brady did at his age. Okay. A couple MVPs, 3 straight Super Bowls. Okay. But that does not a career make. I mean, here's the question. What if he never makes it to another Super Bowl? What if the Ravens getting that ass? What if the Buffalo Bills getting that ass now? Because now they see. You know what that did yesterday? You know what that did? That showed the world that a running team, a team with a running quarterback, or team heavily based on the run can beat the Chiefs. This is what I was talking about when I first started the show. Had Lamar been able to do this last year, would they have kept the number one pick? Because remember, everyone's like, Justin's a runner, even though Justin's not a runner. He's not a running quarterback. He's a passing quarterback who was forced to run because his offensive line sucked. But remember, everyone's like, well, you gotta have a special quarterback to beat him. Jalen Hurts ain't that special as a passer. Jalen Hurts isn't that special. What you did have was a special running back, and what you did have was a special offensive line. which is exactly why my point, when I said I wanted Poles gone, I was mad at him because he neglected the offensive line. This is why. This is why. This is why we go back to the Civil War. And I said, take the Hall. They was like, oh, no, he's a generational quarterback. No. Well, guess what? A generational quarterback did not beat or did not win the Super Bowl yesterday. A non-generational quarterback beat a generational quarterback yesterday. And you can sit there and sit there and tell me, oh, well, it was the offensive line, it was a running back, it was defense. Okay, good. Guess what? We seen the same way, and we should have been further along. Okay, that was the reason I wanted Poles gone. You neglected and you got free agents, and those free agents sucked. You didn't invest in the draft. You went after Roma Dunze with the 9th pick as opposed to an offensive lineman. And I like Roma Dunze, I do. But we didn't need him at that particular point. You need offensive linemen always. And for him to neglect drafting young offensive linemen is a dereliction of duties. That's a good question, Junior. Junior says, why hasn't anyone tried to market an O-line like the Bears did with the Black and Blues brothers? That's a great question. I'll give you 2 answers. I guess 1 answer. Oftentimes, offensive lines aren't together long enough. Oftentimes, offensive lines get broken up because someone gets hurt. Now you could do. I mean, just look at Philly. Philly, they had Jason Kelsey. All right, then Kelsey retired. Then they had another. It was a guard. No, Lane Johnson, who was behind. Goodness gracious. But I mean, if you could market the line, just the offensive line, and change people in and out, you could. Market the offensive line as a group as opposed to the individuals. But that's a great point. And you know what they don't have anymore? You know what they don't have anymore? And I saw this at, what was I? Was I in Dollar Tree, Family Dollar? It was Family Dollar. They don't have posters anymore. Remember, you used to go to the store, we'd go to the mall, and there'd be one store, or like the music stores. You have posters. They have all the big posters. It was like a file, the big thing, you slide them open. This is in C3. This one's in D6. All right. And you open, they don't have posters anymore. Everything's social media. But I mean, you can still market them that way. But the cool thing, like you had a poster of those guys in your room, of that offensive line. If you're a Hog, you have a poster of those guys. Like I had posters of Walter Payton. I had Walter Payton, Roger Craig, Barry Sanders. I had one more. Tony Dorsett, Marcus Allen, and Bo. I had those guys hanging in my wall. I had those guys hanging on my wall in my room. Yeah, the Danimal poster, Chicago Vice with Peyton McMahon. That was like, dude, that's crazy. No one does that marketing anymore. That's crazy. That's insane. But we'll talk a little more Bears. I got one more top of the morning topic I want to get to. Junior, you'll be happy. All you others. Cubs pitchers and catchers reported yesterday to Mesa, Arizona, to Hohokam Park. Jason, you know what I'm talking about? Jason's like, hi, yes, I remember back in the day flipping through the poster rack at the store. Hell yeah, you did it. You did the because they're encased the plastic, but the frame was metal. The outside was metal. You hear the, you just flip them. Nah, this sucks. Look at Rick. Rick said, I had that poster of the old line back in the 80s. And definitely with the Junkyard Dogs. Yes, yes. Hey, Brian Hendren, I ain't mad at you, dog, because I had Farrah Fawcett. That's classic. Hey, King Booker was like, I had Pam Grier. Hey, Moms wasn't having it. I couldn't have any girls on the wall, dude. Moms would have ripped that shit down. Man. Yeah, I couldn't have any ladies on the wall. Oh, that's classic. Classic. But they should I'm surprised Philly hasn't. Philly should market their offensive line. You know, you can't have like the Great Wall of Philly. You need a marketing guy to come in and come up with a good name, you know, and get that taken care of, because that would be dope. That would be dope. So, Cub fans, as I said, you guys reported to spring training. You guys reported to Mesa yesterday, Ho Cam Park yesterday. My White Sox, not that anyone gives a rat's ass, so my White Sox suck. The White Sox pitchers and catchers report on Wednesday to Glendale, Arizona. Junior said, I had the Black and Blues Brothers, the Junkyard Dogs, and the fridge posters. Those are awesome. I'll tell you, because you said, okay, this is B5. You go down and you had they had a label on the end because they were rolled up. They're rolled up like this, a little, but obviously much bigger. If you ever want some cologne, I go Scentbird. It's a little subscription. They give you like some of the top scents colognes that are out there. It's like $15, and they give you, comes once a month. They give you a vial. Just FYI. But the posters, you go down and they're all rolled up, and let me ask you a question. Real talk. Real talk. How excited were you when you wanted to go get that Black and Blues Brothers poster, okay? You want to go get that Black and Blues Brother poster. You saw that Pam Grier. You want to get that Pam Grier poster. How excited were you when you found out where it was? Okay, this was in B9, B6. You went to B6 and you saw Pam Grier, Black and Blues Brothers. When you saw it in the little storage area at the bottom underneath it, how happy were you as a kid? Because I'll tell you what, when I got my Walter poster, I got to bring one of these days. I got to bring my Walter poster. It's in the garage. It's hanging. My mom put it on cardboard. It's still. I told Jared about it. I'm like, dude, I thought I was going to be on. I thought I was going to be on GN Sports before they finished. But if they call me on, CLTV Live, sports feed. But if they have me on GN Sports, I'm gonna bring that to the studios and show Jared. Dude, that poster is 40 years old. But how fired up? Brian says happy as hell. Yeah, King Booker will have when it was there, because sometimes we would go and it wasn't there, it was sold out, and you'd be mad as a mother hub, like, damn it. You got to go to another store. You got to go to another, you know what I mean? You got to go to another store. When you found that cylinder, That rolled up poster with the name of the poster that you wanted, Pam Grier, Walter Payton, Farrah Fawcett. When you found that poster back in the day from looking through the damn rack, you found it. There was few feelings in the world that were better. Very few, especially as a young adolescent kid. Come on, man. You found your Farrah Fawcett poster, you found your Walter Payton poster, you found your whoever your people were, whoever your person was, you found it. They don't market them like that anymore. I don't know why. Well, listen, we got to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome Beth Mishler-Elmore, talk a little Super Bowl, talk a lot of Bears. Let's get her thoughts because we haven't talked to her since the hire. So I want to see what she's thinking about the hire, about the staff, about the mentality. So, yeah. Beth Mishler-Elmore on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Blitz coming. It's picked up. Hurts going deep. Has a man. It is caught. Dotson down there. He's in. Touchdown, Philadelphia. 3rd and 7. They rush 4. Hurts going for A.J. Brown. Back shoulder. Oh, a beauty from A.J. Brown in the first half of this game. Here's Mahomes. Pressure right away. Mahomes is sacked. Josh Sweat gets home. 2nd and 14. 4-man rush. Mahomes pressured again. Sacked again. 3rd and 16. Mahomes rolling out. Looking. Firing. Intercepted. Picked up by Cooper DeJean. Gets a block. DeJean is in. Touchdown.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. We are going nuts at my cousin's house yesterday because we all wanted Philly to win. All right, we didn't want, the 12th man or the 16th man, 17th man on the Chiefs to help them win, and we were going crazy. So with that, I don't know if you knew this. So yesterday was Cooper DeJean's birthday and Saquon Barkley's birthday. And Cooper DeJean became the only person to ever score a touchdown in the Super Bowl on his birthday. I was so mad when I was like, damn it, because I wanted Saquon to score. How cool would that be? The only two people that ever scored a touchdown on their birthday would have happened in the same game if they gave it to Saquon. Because now his birthday, next year's birthday, the Super Bowl his birthday is gonna be on Monday. Super Bowl ain't happening. So, but yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool deal. Cooper DeJean with the pick 6. That was awesome. My next guest, a good friend of the program. She's been rocking with us for years. She covers the Bears for Heavy.com. You can find her at her new Twitter handle that she had changed about 2 years ago. And I love Bear Down Beth. Guys, welcome back to Shawn and Maya. Beth Mishler-Elmore. Beth, good morning.
Good morning, Shawn. How you doing?
I am wonderful after that ass whooping yesterday, boy. Let me tell you, we are fired up.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. I didn't think it would be. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, but yes. That was still a lot of fun to watch. That DeJean interception. I always say his name wrong, even though I know it. Like that was awesome.
It was great.
It was a good reminder too to the Bears that games are won in the trenches.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I don't know, and that's kind of a novel concept. Do you know if anyone else kind of knows about that?
I'm not sure. I think it might just be catching on now. It's all the rage now, it just seems.
It might be just a passing fad. Who knows? You know, the thing about it, and I was listening to Olin. Before you came on, I was talking about it. Olin came on this morning. I was listening to him on the radio, and he said, you look at this Philly offensive line. He said, and he goes, you have Lane Johnson, who's like one of the biggest human beings on the face of the freaking earth, like 6'7", 6'8".
Yep.
We sat behind, I forgot, Jason Peters. That's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Jason Peters was the tight end before he moved into the tackle. But Jason Peters was an all-pro left tackle. He goes, and then you had, I forgot who their center behind Kelsey. He said, that's how you do it. He goes, first of all, you draft and develop linemen to Pro Bowlers, and as their time is coming to an end, you draft young studs, first and second high draft picks, and let them sit there and watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was amazing. But and this is why I was so against Ryan Poles coming back, because him not addressing the line in a reasonable manner, it's dereliction of duties. And you're an offensive lineman, dude. What the hell's all that about?
Yeah.
It was crazy. Give me your thoughts on the way that they were able to handle that Chiefs defensive line yesterday.
Oof, I tell you that, I mean, it was both like I wouldn't want to talk about the Eagles offensive line without talking about what John Victor Fangio did with the Eagles defense. But the offensive line is special. I mean, like Jason Kelsey, you don't have many teams where like a center who's retiring, a future Hall of Famer, Jason Kelsey handpicks his replacement in Cam Jurgens. And then Cam Jurgens comes in and is a Pro Bowler. It's like hardly miss a beat from like the style of play, the quality of play. It's incredible. They still do the tush push just as well and just as effectively as they ever did. And it's a credit to coaching. And it's a credit to the GM who's there, Howie Roseman, who knows what to value. And, you know, they drafted, I can't remember his name. They have Jahan Dotson now, but Jalen Reagor. They drafted Jalen Reagor pretty high. He was a mistake. They like whiffed on a high draft pick. What does he do? He goes out and gets AJ Brown. Like the GM knows how to acknowledge his mistakes. He knows how to address certain issues that he's had on offensive, defensive lines. They went and got Vic Fangio. I mean, it's been fantastic. And not all of the Eagles offensive linemen are high draft picks either. Jordan Mailata is like, what, 7th round pick or 6th round pick, something like that. So he was just developed well. He just turned into a great player there. They churn out consistently year after year, high quality offensive lines. It's impressive. They're really the standard in the NFL, I think.
And it starts with a culture, because you don't have to be a first round pick. All right.
Absolutely.
You don't. Okay, but you have to be able to develop them. And it's a culture. It's a standard. And if you don't meet the standard, it doesn't matter what round you are.
Yep.
Right? It doesn't matter what round you are. You're out. And they like you said, they are the example of the NFL. They have the best offensive line, and that's why when Saquon Barkley signed over there, I'm like, oh my god. I'm like DeAndre Swift had 1,000 yards with them last year. I was like, can you imagine Saquon? Saquon's, yeah, hold my beer. I got 2. Dude, that was crazy. My buddy, so you know Herb Howard?
Yeah.
So Herb and I are good friends, and he was telling me he bet I don't know if he put 100 or what he put down, but he bet the Eagles to win the Super Bowl in the offseason.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, he tweeted it out. It was plus 1,400. I was like, damn.
That's in Herb.
Yeah,
That's
and he was saying that they were messaging him if he wanted to cash out before the game, and he's like, nah, he held on to it. I was like, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, so they set the standard and they show you how to win. Talk to me about Jalen Hurts yesterday, MVP, couple touchdown passes. He didn't do a lot. I think yesterday was an average game for him. It was a good game, a solid game for him. Nothing crazy, nothing special, but it just happened to be in the Super Bowl. Talk to me about Jalen Hurts' game yesterday on the biggest stage in football.
I thought it was great. I thought mentally he played really that was the key, right? He threw that ugly interception earlier on, and it didn't phase him. Didn't really. Whereas Mahomes just did not look like himself at all game. Really, I mean, it just was startling almost. Jalen Hurts didn't have to do everything. He didn't have to be Superman. He just had to be smart, take what was given to him, and I think for the most part he did that. I was reminded a little bit of the '85 Bears Super Bowl because I felt like the Chiefs were just keying in on Saquon the way that the Patriots keyed in on Walter Payton. Their goal was to stop the running back, and they thought that would stop the entire offense. And Jalen Hurts was just like, hi, now I'm here, and I'm pretty much a badass as well. He's really judicious with the ball. He's smart with it. He knows when to hold him and when to fold him and when to take off running. He's one of, I think, the more underrated quarterbacks when it comes to decision making. Now he's had some bad throws, but I think that's more like his arm and his arm not being quite as great as, say, like some of the best quarterbacks in the league. But I think that his mind is right up there. I think he knows the game well and he feels the game well. And I think his instincts are spot on. And like I said, I think he takes what's given to him really well. And he knows what's working. If something's not working, if Saquon's not getting through, he'll find some other way to, like, maybe I'll run. And he did. I think he had was he the team's leading rusher yesterday? I think he takes what's given, and that's what you got to do. If he wasn't, he was damn close. And
he was 70. Yeah. He had 72 yards, and Barkley had 57. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I think, what impressed me most about Hurts' game yesterday. They were stopping Saquon. He didn't really stop him that well, and so he did what he had to do. And that's what you need. Like Tom Brady was saying, that's what you need from your quarterback in these moments. Just win.
And Saquon with the lead block on one of those things.
Oh, yes. He was blocking his butt off yesterday. I said to my husband, I'm like, you think people are going to talk about how well he was blocking in this game? Because he was, that was next level.
It was a picture perfect block. He had the inside shoulder, and he hit the inside shoulder, and he didn't destroy him, but he hit him and had to made the guy go around him. And once the guy had to go around him, there's no way he's catching Jalen Hurts. I'm like, this is beautiful.
That was a beautiful blitz pickup. Absolutely.
Yeah, but no, his blocking, but also lead blocking on a couple of the quarterback runs.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that one blitz pickup that he had that was just like very key that Hurts threw that my dog wants down here, and she's not coming down, so pardon the barks. But yeah,
the Dotson where he went out on the 2 or on the 1. That pickup, the blitz pickup with hit Jahan Dotson.
That's it.
Funny, but he was knee down. Yeah, that was a great one. He came across and just that was awesome. But his blocking yesterday was awesome. I really would have wanted him to score. I really did. I like him. Yeah. How? So let me ask you this question. I just posed it. I think before you came in the green room. Everyone talked about, well, you need a special quarterback to beat Patrick Mahomes. And everyone said, no, you a running quarterback can beat Mahomes. Like, no. Everyone says, how would that have changed if Lamar had beaten Patrick Mahomes last year? Okay. How do you think that would have changed the Bears' view on drafting Caleb or keeping Justin and maybe taking a haul if they saw that you could beat a generational quarterback without a generational quarterback?
It's hard to say. I almost think that Poles had the idea of, I want my own quarterback. I want to get my own quarterback so I can carve my own niche into this franchise in his head, no matter what Justin did. Okay. Because fans were literally chanting Justin Fields' name at the home stadium, and players were,
The Falcons. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. I mean, they made their preference known. A lot of us would have absolutely been cool with the Bears riding with Justin. I don't know that it would have changed Ryan Poles' mind. I don't know. It might have, but I don't think so. I think he's kind of had this sort of air about him. I like a lot about him, but like over the last year, he's really definitely not done himself any favors, and he's dug himself into a hole he's now got to get himself out of. And like a lot of what he's done has been self-inflicted. If you know what I mean. It's just, yeah. So I don't know that he would. I think he's very like got the, as they say, the arrogance of a first timer, where he just kind of thinks he knows better.
Yep.
And we've seen that a lot in Chicago. And when he first got here, I didn't get that vibe from him. But as the years progress, absolutely all over the place. So I don't know that would have affected him that much.
Yeah, and that was, to me, that was because I thought it might have. I'm like, okay. They wanted like, all right, Justin's not a generational quarterback as far as passing. I'm like, yeah, but he's pretty special. And if you had built up the offensive line, like again, you know where I stood, and everybody knows where I stand. I was Team Justin, all right, and I accept to take the haul, build the offensive line, get pieces, but he didn't get pieces at all. He wanted to go get free agents. He wanted to go get prospects. He wanted to go draft a guy who's been playing pretty well in Braxton Jones with 5th or 6th round out of Southern Utah. He goes and grabs Kieran Amagaji. Like, come on, dude. Don't stop. Don't get guys who played at a lower level and then come in hurt. And then throw them out there against one of the, who the hell was it? Was it the dude ate his lunch? The guy was having a great, having a great year, and you throw him out there with no help, no chip, no running back, no tight end, no nothing, and you shatter the kid's confidence. That's a dereliction of duties, what he did to that young man. It's a shame.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons I wanted him gone. Like, you don't do that to a young man who who shot his confidence. You didn't see that with Justin. You didn't see that with Trubisky. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't see what that did. I was so pissy with him, but I just thought it could have changed. I wanted to see your thought if a running quarterback or a dual threat quarterback, let's call him that, a dual threat quarterback, was able to beat Mahomes. Because remember, everyone said, I'm not betting against Mahomes. You got, like Ric Flair, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And once he beat him, now you're like, okay, now it can be done.
Yep.
Talk to me about where you like. So do you like this hire? And who was your first pick for the Bears head coach? We haven't talked since the last time we talked was way before the hire.
Yeah. I love the hire. I do. I sure like it more than, I mean, Mike McCarthy would have been fine, but I want the Bears to swing for the fences. And that's what I think this type of hire is. I think Ben Johnson was the best candidate available, and it was refreshing for once to see the Bears get that guy. The guy that Tom Brady wanted, the guy that the Jaguars wanted, that made it known that they wanted, and he chose Chicago. So that doesn't happen a lot, and the staff that he's assembling around him has been a pleasant surprise. I wasn't sure how he was going to go, and it's a smooth blend of youth and creativity and grizzly, like, red asses with experience, and I like that. I like that a lot. I think Bill Johnson's going to be a great defensive line coach, somebody who has worked with Akeem Hicks and Aaron Donald. Sign me up, bring him in. I love Akeem. I think he was one of the more underrated interior linemen of his time. And so I think that he's assembling a great staff. He's saying all the right things. I've heard nothing but good things about him from like insiders, from people who know him, from people who have worked with him. So now just you got to go do it. You got to go show it. Like, let's go. Let's see what you got. But I'm thrilled with the hire. I think they, with Caleb, if they would have done something Mark Trestman like, I would have crawled under a cave and never come out again. Like, what are you doing? So there have been so many times where they could have had Bruce Arians and they chose Mark Trestman. And this was the opposite of that. So it may not work out, but at least they're trying to get the guy who might best help Caleb develop into the player that he could be.
I think you're right. And they did it the right way. And, Ron Rivera was asked down at the Super Bowl. And he said, man, he goes, they're on their shit for all, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but they're doing it the right way. He goes, he was very impressed with the way that they went about the interviews. And that speaks volumes. How much of that is Kevin Warren? Because we went through this a couple years ago, and that wasn't being said about the Bears at that particular point. How much of this is Kevin Warren's handprint, fingerprints all over this?
I think a good amount. I think we got to give him his flowers a little bit. I think he's got to be the difference, right? I mean, excuse me, when the rumors were coming out about how Poles and Eberflus were hired, like Trace Armstrong might have been like having a little too much influence. Kevin Warren made it clear, like, I don't have an agent. I'm not affiliated with anyone. And that's when I first kind of started to sit up and take notice of Kevin Warren a little more, because he'd been primarily doing stuff with the stadium, which hadn't really been doing much of anything. So he'd kind of been off to the side a little bit. But then when the hiring process, there was just like noticeable differences, whether it was like just kind of the broadness of the search that people really didn't know what to make of it, to like the immediacy of like, once the Lions lost, they knew what they wanted, and they went and they jumped. And I think that Kevin Warren had a lot to do with that. I think his experience outside of the Bears organization is going to be invaluable, whereas Ted Phillips was just kind of, like a glorified accountant. And so Kevin Warren knows football a lot more than Ted Phillips did, and he also knows like culture, like perceptions around the league, what people think. He understands like the evolving dynamics that are happening right now. And so I think credit where credit is due. I think he kind of put his foot down and was like, listen, we're going to do this right. And this is how other teams do it. We're going to shell out major ducats. We're going to pay money, damn it. And that's how you get the best. And so we'll see. Again, they've got to do it, but they've done just about everything right so far. And one of the people I'm friends with that covers the Packers, I won't say his name, but he likes to say nobody wins the offseason like the Bears, and he's right.
That's the truth.
He's right. So now they have to win in the regular season. They have to start winning when it counts.
So what are your thoughts on this whole thing when the reports came out that things had gotten so bad with Caleb Williams and Shane Waldron that he didn't even do film study with him? He had to do it by himself. What are your thoughts? Because I didn't give my thoughts yet, but I want to hear yours.
I mean, I thought nothing could blow my mind more than like, we're not going to script the first series kind of for our rookie quarterback. When I found out Waldron didn't want to script the first, like, and his own players are like, yeah, this is the first time we haven't had a scripted series to start the game anywhere I've played. That was just, I thought, incredibly egregious. To hear that he didn't watch film with his rookie quarterback, how the hell does he have a job in the league right now? I mean, the buddy system, I suppose, but I just a few things. I mean, coaches are supposed to love, maybe not love it, but it's part of the job. How do you learn what you're going up against if you don't analyze your opponent, if you don't analyze yourself, your mistakes, your flaws? It's no wonder his offense sputtered if he's not analyzing it with his quarterback. That blew my mind, because it was just like, what did you do while you were there, Shane Waldron? What did you do?
Yeah. Interesting. I was wondering, I don't know how that whole thing came out, because there's no way that you've been an offensive coordinator before. I'm thinking that something was leaked. I'm thinking someone's trying to get an agenda out, because there's no way that you don't watch film with your quarterback. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Okay, go do it yourself. All right. Or did the quarterback say, hey, I don't want to watch? Maybe the quarterback didn't like the offensive coordinator and wanted to do it himself. I don't know. But there's no way that an offensive coordinator just goes against his job duties and says, you know what, I'm not going to watch film with my quarterback who I'm responsible for. It just doesn't make, something's not right. Something's rotten in Denmark, and I want to get to the bottom of it, and I can't wait to ask around, because there's no way. I mean, he was a well-respected offensive coordinator coming out of Seattle. He worked with Russ. He worked with Dino.
Although, do you remember that little clip that went viral of Jackson Smith and Jigba sort of being like, good luck, kind of giving the Bears a little warning about him? That was the one thing that kind of popped up on my radar, like, oh, uh-oh.
My thing was like, maybe because what we came out to say, like, they didn't do like reps really well. If something went wrong, you just glossed over it. That's what came to mind when And after it all said and done, I was like, okay, maybe that's what Jackson Smith and Jigba was talking about.
Sure.
Then was like, no, maybe it was the no film watch. I'm like, I just can't see at that level. At that level, this shit happens in high school.
Yeah.
Even Pop Warner now, you got kids watch. You know what I mean? How at that level that you're going to let your offensive coordinator, who you're paying millions of dollars to,
that's
not watch film with, you know, and if that was the case, Eberflus, what the hell are you doing? Like that is under your watch. Like, hey, homie, like I don't care if you don't like each other. I care if you can't stand each other. You got to work together. You know what I mean? Like that's so
that's some Johnny Manziel type shit for coaches. That's bad. That's and you know, you were saying like you wonder how it got out. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if like Carl Williams, Caleb's dad, or Roma Dunze's dad, they've been very vocal on social media. So that wouldn't surprise me a bit if either one of those dudes was just like, look at what our kids are dealing with here in Chicago. This man does not even watch film with his quarterback. That's unheard of. Only in Chicago.
Part of it with me and something like there's still something about Caleb and people, you know, I said it earlier around some friends like, oh, you just like Justin. I'm like, no, I do like Justin, but it's not getting in the way of this. I'm like, I dealt with kids. I was a teacher for 15 years, coach for 15. I get it. I understand. And there's something about Caleb. He's very covert about what he does and how he does it. Like I see him, I still think he's very full of himself. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if he had his dad or, you know, he talked about, so maybe it was one time or maybe, you know, he was mad, you know, because you can take something and run with it. Because if you didn't watch, so say you didn't want to watch film because you're mad at him, and I'll do it myself or something. And now you put it out there. I didn't watch. He didn't even watch film with his quarterback. Now that gets blown out of proportion. Like, oh my God, he never watched film with his quarterback. There's something not right here, Beth. There's just something not right. And like I said, I got to ask around a little more.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's I don't believe it. I don't believe that Shane Waldron would do that, and I don't believe Eberflus would do that, or even Ryan Poles would let that happen. Like, no.
Yeah.
There's no way on God's green earth you're not watching. You know what I mean? Even if I have to sit here and babysit your ass, both of you can watch and feel. You know what I mean? Like something's not right. How that came out.
I'm curious to see if Shane Waldron responds to it, and if he has I don't know if he's had his introductory presser or not, or if he's spoken yet. But he's got, I forget where he just recently got hired. And has a new gig.
Coordinator.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
I don't want to hear about a passing game coordinator, but you may want to hear about the disgraced offensive coordinator from the Bears. So they may put him in front of the media.
I mean, that's pretty damning stuff. And so, I mean, if I were in the room, I would be asking about that. Absolutely. And I'm curious to see how he responds to that. And if he says that's true or not, and what he would, how he responds, basically what he says. Because I haven't heard his side of the story either yet.
Right. So what do you see going into the draft? All right. What would you like? We got 3 picks in the top 41-ish, I think, 40, 41. We got 3 picks, 1 first rounder, 2 second rounders. Our first pick is at number 10. What do you address? First of all, what do you address in the offseason? Now that free agency is about to start, what do you address before the draft?
I would get one of each, right? I want a veteran offensive lineman and a veteran edge. I wouldn't, but young enough to grow in Chicago. Last night, I mean, take your pick. Milton Williams on the interior could be a disaster, a disaster for our opposing offenses in Chicago. But personally, I think Josh Sweat would be just pairing him with Montez Sweat, the CNC Music Factory lyrics write themselves. I would just love that so much. I think he's 27. Is that enough? Yeah. So I think one of those guys in free agency would be great on the D line. On the offensive line, I would like everybody's talking Trey Smith, but I would rather have them go after center. Drew Dalman is 26. He could grow with Caleb. He's capable in the run game. He's good in the pass protection. He's going to be like the top center in the market. Go get him. Sign Josh Sweat, and then go into the draft with with 2 experienced guys on each line, and then address both needs there. Go get Kelvin Banks or Will Campbell with the first pick. Got to go OL if you can. I wouldn't hate them if both those guys are gone, or if Mike Green is still available. He's the edge out of Marshall. I like him a lot, so I wouldn't be totally mad with an edge pick as long as they then draft OL in both with both picks in round 2. But I think I would prefer them to take their edge. I like Kyle Kennard a lot out of South Carolina. He also played at Georgia Tech, got great burst, great speed. He would be a great round 2 pick. And if they had Kennard, Josh Sweat, Montez Sweat, the Sweat brothers, whatever you want to have, it writes itself there, man. Yeah. I'm telling you. But I think they got to stay with the trenches, build those up, get a good blend of free agents and talented, promising rookies, start building that way. You can make a huge difference immediately with just a handful of free agents and then some really solid, promising rookies, especially with this coaching staff. I think with the exception of Declan Doyle, I think everybody's really proven and is pretty exciting. But Declan Doyle, I'm not sure. He's young. He's exciting. But who knows what we're going to get.
Yeah, I'd love to go after Trey Smith and Dahlman. I'd love to get those 2 guys and then do what Olin was talking about. Then go get a stud guard or go get a stud tackle, or go get maybe get a center with one of your 2 second round picks.
Yes,
because they screwed the pooch. The last 2 years have been they had like 6 or 7 really good centers come out, and they didn't draft one. I'm like, dude, like from Jackson Powers Johnson to Cedric Van Pran to Pritchard, there's a whole bunch of, like I said, about 5 to 7 good centers in the last 2 years, and they got none of them. So
Ryan I think Fields has drafted 2 punters in that time. It blows my mind.
Former offensive lineman. That's crazy. Oh my goodness gracious. So talk to me about the defensive side of the ball. So let's go to those second round picks. Mm-hmm. So you want O-line with number 10.
Yes, absolutely. I think Kelvin Bakes is probably out of Texas. I think he's probably the safest bet there. I think he's got a lot of experience. He's proven himself and his worth against big time opponents consistently. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have any really, off the field issues that I'm worried about. I think he'd be an immediate plug and play asset. And I think right now you need sure things. If you're the Bears, you need to protect Caleb Williams. You need to start building that O-line. And right now you have one piece. You have Darnell Wright. Adding like an OL right away at 10, that gives you another foundational piece on the line right away, right? And I think I like Will Campbell. I don't know that he'll still be there at 10. I wouldn't hate it if they took Will Campbell. I just think Kelvin Bakes is he's more experienced. He's got an edge. I think he'd complement the Darnell Wright's play well too on the line. So
would you move Campbell into guard is what a lot of people are saying because of the length of his arms.
His short arms,
Would you consider moving him to guard?
Yeah.
And what's the importance for you of getting an offensive left tackle, or are you okay with Braxton Jones being serviceable for one more year?
Kind of depends on how. I mean, they might have to be okay with him. I think he is serviceable enough for 1 year, but I think they clearly need an upgrade there. That's such an important position, and they need a mauler and not somebody who's serviceable. So I would much rather see Braxton Jones serve like the Larry Borum role of being a swing tackle, or kind of being a backup and slide into kind of like the 6th man of the O-line, and get somebody new in there. But it is a lot to get 4 new starters on the offensive line, and that's the thing. If they can just upgrade the other 3 spots, I think it'll still be a whole heck of a lot better than it has been, and then they can just address left tackle in the future. But I would like to see Braxton replaced. Yeah, I serviceable isn't gonna do it, and it's not gonna cut it when the Super Bowl comes around.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I said take the haul, or at least invest in your offensive line, because then we wouldn't have this issue. Because if you drafted someone else, an offensive lineman instead of Rome last year, well, guess what? Now we got two pieces, two guys, and then we can get 3 in free agency in the draft. Draft 1 or free agent, or 1 or 2 free agents. It's not such a daunting task to fill 4 offensive line positions in 1 year. 3 is a big enough task, but you can do it. But if 4 is crazy, and had you done it last year, the 2 years ago, and then last year, we might only need 1 piece or maybe 2.
Yep.
But and again, this is why I wanted him gone. Like, how do you not address that? I know it's not a sexy pick. I know everyone doesn't get crazy about it. Go, oh, but you know what? Football people know that's going to help us. Oh, that's going to help us big time. And it just bothers me. So what about those 2 second-round picks? If you go O-line first, okay, you go O-line first. You go O-line, D-line, D-line, O-line. And what do you want with those 2 second-round picks? Because those guys got to be impact players. The first 2 rounds, you should be starters. Third round, rotational probably. But so what do you want with those 2 second-round picks?
That's why I like Kennard out of South Carolina. I think he'd be a great rotational player. He played, I think, like just under 50% of the snaps defensively last season. So he's not an every down guy, but when he comes in, he kind of wreaks havoc. I like his burst. He reminds me, he's like a quicker, faster, more powerful Austin Booker. And that's kind of how I look at him. So I really am kind of hoping that they get a good edge rusher that could come in and make a difference, make an impact, the way that like the second rounders that Philly grabbed, Cooper DeJean did. Or they grabbed Quinion Mitchell in the first round, and he was like one of candidates for Rookie of the Year, and he played really well last night as well. So I think even if he's a rotational guy, they need to find somebody who's going to pack a punch. And I'd like them to address the defensive line in the draft in the earlier rounds too. I think they have to. And like I mentioned, free agency, they got to do that too. But find somebody who's young, who can come in and grow with your team and become the face of that defense.
Yeah, it's better, especially if you can draft and develop, or if you get free agents like a Trey Smith, like he's 26.
Yeah.
He's 25. He'll be 26. And you talked about the other Dahlman, same thing, 26 years old. Like he's hitting his prime right here. He's got a good 5 solid seasons, before, 3 solid seasons before you start looking for his replacement. I think he got 5 solid seasons there. And I think that's, if you can get someone in free agency that way, cool. But I mean, draft and develop these kids. You got them for 5 years if you want, you know what I mean, for most of the time. And it's I'd go in the second round an O-line, D-line. It didn't matter which one. Yes. Who's probably the best. So is it the number 3 defensive lineman versus the number 5 offensive tackle? And I'd have to go with my board. But I want O-line, D-line. I want those picks. I want those big nasty sons of bitches. Yes. Give me 6'7", 330. Give me. Yes. You saw the average of that offensive line yesterday. What the hell was that?
6'6", 330. And I wouldn't. Another free agent too that we haven't talked about is Mekhi Becton, 6'7". Yes. Massive, great year in Philly. I've watched the Eagles a lot this year, and he's really impressed me. So I wouldn't hate him showing up and giving the Bears a boost there. But I think what's that?
How old is he?
I don't think he's older than 26. He's young as well. He's probably 25, 26 too.
There it is. 25.
25, yeah. He's not
26 in April. So
yep. All these guys are just entering their primes, and the Bears with their cap space and their draft picks, they're in a good spot. And I think that's part of why Ben Johnson's like, I'll go to Chicago, because we've got a nice first round pick at number 10. We've got 2 picks in the second round. We can grab some real impact players, and then they got like $70 million in free agency to spend. Like, let's go spend it. Go get the best guys you can get. Let's go.
And if you heard him in his opening presser, he's like, and I'm going to enjoy this drafting process. I'm like, he's going to sit there like, no, that's what I want. That's what I want. Wouldn't that be something if the Bears got those 2? I mean, that's devoting a lot of resources to your offensive line, but that'll shore up that middle 3. And Caleb's short. Caleb's 6'1" and change.
Yes.
Right? You can't have people in his face. 6'5" quarterbacks don't like people in their face. Imagine a 6'1" quarterback. That's why I asked you about the Braxton Jones thing. He's serviceable. It's not great. I think his ceiling could be an above average left tackle. I don't think he's at the ceiling yet. I think he's right around average or maybe a little below average. But who has great left tackles? And not everybody in the league. So I think he's serviceable. But if you get those 3, and I've said this a million times for years, that's your run game. Those 2 guards in the center, that's your run game. And it's easier for a quarterback to avoid a guy coming off the corner to step up and replace where he came from, as opposed to a guy coming up the middle.
Yep.
So if the Bears get funky with it and go get Trey Smith and Mekhi Becton and Dolman, like holy cow, there's the expectations go crazy now. How far do you think going into this season do you think that the Bears can go? Do you think they're a playoff team?
Heck, I thought they could have been a playoff team going into last season. I was one of those. I had them at So I do. I think they have a lot of pieces. I think a lot of what they had wrong last year was coaching and leadership. And I think if you get that, you say it all the time, coaching matters, and it matters a lot. It makes all the difference. And I think we're going to see that. And yeah, I think the Bears are going to be a formidable force next year. I hope everybody stays healthy, but if they do, I see a bunch of guys that are added to this, from like Eric Bieniemy to Al Harris, who used to be a pain in our butts when he was with the Packers.
Yep.
Like they're on our side now. And I look forward to, I think the players are going to play with a bit more of an edge. I think they're going to have, and I think one thing that matters that you can't measure and that stats don't measure is confidence. And I think their confidence is going to grow with Ben Johnson. I think he's going to empower his players. And the Bears haven't had anybody do that in a while.
I think they have a lot of confidence in him now. I think a lot of players are fired up about him now. And I think and the staff that he's bringing, I mean, you're bringing in some heavy hitters. You talked about Al Harris. Now, you're right. He wasn't paying our ass. Why? Because he was a good football player.
That's right.
Because he had a high football IQ.
Yep.
And when you bring in guys with high football IQs and guys who play the game at a high level, they demand a lot.
Yep.
They demand a lot. And that's what we want. We want the running backs. We want Bieniemy to demand a lot from the players. We want Al Harris to demand a lot from the secondary because the secondary is unbelievably talented.
Yes.
Okay. I think those are the types of players, those are the types of coaches that good players want. You want to be coached hard to be great. And I'm looking forward to that. I think the Bears are a playoff team this year because Detroit obviously got weaker. You lost 7 freaking assistant coaches.
Yeah.
Right? Minnesota, what are they going to do? You keep re-signing Darnold. You go with J.J. McCarthy. What are you doing? I don't even know if they know what they're doing yet. All right, in Green Bay, I'm still not scared of Jordan Love. Jordan Love does not scare me.
No,
so
me neither.
I'm not saying we got the division in Detroit. Oh, we just talked about Detroit. But I'm not saying we got the division. I think we're definitely a wild card playoff team next year.
Yep.
But I think the 26th season is when we're going to be vying for the NFC title game. I think that we'll have a year under these coaches. Nothing's going to be new anymore. You're going to be in a comfortable position. I think 26 is when that's when we should start puffing our chest and talking a lot more shit at that particular point. This year, like, we're going to make the playoffs.
I hope so. I hope you're right. That would be the ideal. I think, and it would show measured, consistent improvement as well. So from your lips to God's ears, Shawn, let's do this.
That's awesome. Beth, great stuff. I appreciate your time as always, but do me a favor before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, so you can find my work either on heavy.com, where I write about the Bears once in a while. I'll write about the Eagles and Lions just for fun, or you could go to the Facebook page Heavy on Bears, and there's all kinds of fun stuff there.
Great stuff. I appreciate your time. It's always great talking Bears football with you.
You too, Shawn. Always good to see you.
Oh, by the way, I love the shirt. I saw it in the green room. Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm like, oh, yes.
I used to look forward to the wrestling so much. 10:30 at night, Central Time. Man, Saturday Night's Main Event, baby.
We used to go when I was a kid. The International Amphitheater was where they had them. The building's not even there anymore.
Man,
we would go once a month. My mom would take me. It would be a family. 6 or 8 of us would go. We'd go every month. We would go, and then they went to the UIC. We did the Pavilion. Then we went to the Allstate as a kid. Man. So I remember as a kid going to wrestling. I was a big, huge wrestling fan my whole life. So that's when I saw that. I saw your shirt. I'm like, dude, that's dope.
Thank you. Yeah, another big time wrestling fan here. Usually, the old school doesn't get much better than the old school wrestling for me. So.
Tell me about it. Yeah, we'll have to have you on for some wrestling talk.
Hey, anytime.
That's good stuff. All right, hey, you have a great day. And
you too.
What's the weather like? Because you're down in where are you at?
Actually, I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, so it's nice and chilly.
Okay. Yeah, same here. It's 27 degrees right here, and
too many Packer fans.
I know. I know. Some dude called me a fib the other day, and I started laughing online. I started laughing because I know what that is. I'm like,
yeah.
I was like,
You're
that's
so
hilarious. I said, because they were talking about it was a vacation spot, and I didn't know where it was, so I Googled, and it's like 5.5 hours like northwest in Wisconsin. I'm like, that's too far. I'm like, why the hell would they want to go all the way up there in Wisconsin? And dude's like, stay home, you fib. And I was like, yeah. I said, don't worry. I said, don't worry. I'm not going up there. So you guys continue to kiss your cousins. That's fine.
That's right. Enjoy your bratwurst and cheese.
Hey, great stuff, Beth. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, Shawn. Good to see you.
All righty. Bye. Guys, that's Beth Mishler-Elmore from Heavy.com. Bears football with us. Man, that's crazy. So, yeah, Bernissimo, let's talk about this. I agree he's a liability, but he's serviceable. First of all, for where he was drafted, 5th round, 6th round, to start, yes, I agree. He is nowhere near a gold jacket. He's nowhere near a Pro Bowler. But he gets the job done, especially in rundown and run plays. He gotten stronger. Bull rush is still, depending on the strength of the defensive end, still giving some issues. But he's the last guy that I would replace. You're an offensive lineman. You can always adjust for a guy on the edge who's beating your ass. You can chip him, running back, tight end. You can step up in the pocket if you're the quarterback. You can run right at him if it's a run play. But if you're getting penetration between the 2 guards in the center, you're done. You're done. The play, whether it's a run or a pass, ain't doing jack spit. And that's where we need that wall. If Ryan Poles, I'm telling you, if Ryan Poles signs those 3 sons of bitches, Trey Smith, Mekhi Becton, and Dahlman, if he signs those, I will completely change my outlook on Ryan Poles. Completely. I will give him his props. Let's see. You'd replace Braxton after Darnell? I'm saying you can isolate, you can work with Braxton. I'm not replacing Darnell at all. I know he regressed a little bit. We saw flashes of him in his rookie year and how good this son of a gun can be. So I'm not replacing Darnell at all. Not at all. Yeah. All I'm saying is I want to get the interior of that offensive line shored up, which is why I'm liking the room. A lot of the buzz are talking about drafting Will Campbell but moving him to guard because of the length of his arms. But first of all, personally, don't give me numbers. Don't give me freaking numbers. Okay? Don't give me numbers. Give me film. Let me watch what this guy can do. Because I don't give a rat's ass if his arms are an inch shorter than you'd like. Well, his arms are 7/8 of an inch shorter than ideal. Don't give me that shit. Let me see the film. Let me see the film. Let me see if he could dominate at the line of scrimmage. All right? If you can do that, it doesn't matter how short your arms are. If you get into somebody, it doesn't matter how short your arms are. If you get a good punch, it doesn't matter how short your arms are. You got great feet. The length of your arms isn't as big an issue. So that's one of the biggest things. Everyone's like, well, his arms might be a little short. Like, come on, stop it. Did you watch the tape? Did you watch the film? Because if you did, you see this guy is can play at that position. Again, if you move him to guard, I'm cool with it. It doesn't even matter. I wouldn't mind if they move him to guard because it does 2 things. One, Kieran Amagaji. All right, now you got some competition because he's a guard. He ain't a fucking tackle. Dude ran around him like he wasn't even there. But if you move him to guard, and for some reason Darnell Wright gets hurt, Braxton Jones gets hurt, you can slide him out. And then add Kieran Amagaji at the guard, at the left guard. But I'm telling you, if the Bears do something crazy, they get funky with it. They try to get Smith, Dahlman, and Mekhi Becton. That'll be tough. That'll be real tough. That's going to eat up most of your cap. But I'll tell you what, it's going to keep Caleb clean. That you get that type of stuff, you're going to keep Caleb. Caleb could end up being Tom Brady clean. And we all know how Tom Brady he'd go back there and he'd be in the pocket he'd be flat-footed. Not even bouncing around, he'd be flat-footed because he had that much God-blessed time. If you give Caleb that much time, he better be able to find someone. So that's the most important thing. Get those front three, in my opinion. Get those front three shored up. Get them shored up. 2 guards in the center, got to be tight. If they can, again, that's the run game. That's the run game. I didn't ask her about the running back position. I think you also got to upgrade the run, add another piece to the running back position. The kid out of Iowa is good. Kids out of Ohio State are good. Internal pressure will mess you up when the quarterback can't step in the pocket. That's what happened on Jalen Hurts' interception. On Jalen Hurts' interception, they had a blitz, and he threw the ball like this. He didn't follow through. He threw the ball like this. You saw his hand, whoop, it was in the air. So this is a running back heavy draft. Give me one of those 6'1". I'm okay with a 5'10", 5'11" guy. 5'11", 6 feet, 6'1". I'm okay. I'm cool with it. I'm good with it. I'm good with a guy like that. Okay, but this guy's got to be whoever we get. I want him to be able to pass block, please, break some tackles, and catch some passes out of the backfield, make people miss or punish people. See, everyone's so worried about making people miss, and it's good. I want to see someone punish people in the secondary, because what happens is they're going to start making business decisions and start going at your knees, and you just step over that shit toward the end of the game. I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. When you pummel an undersized DB again and again and again, and that shit gets on film, DBs see that. Dude, I ain't trying to hit him. See what happened with people with Derrick Henry? No one wants to hit that dude. No one wants to hit that dude. If you have some good bend and you can get down and run people over and use the contact to keep your balance, I want to see some people punished. There you go. I couldn't think of the word. Punished by our running backs this year, especially little DBs. Punish them. Brian says that's why I want to improve the guards and center this year, and then we'll work on the tackles next year. Well, one tackle. I think Darnell Wright's is dope. But again, look at the issues we're having because Ryan Poles decided not to address the offensive line at all in the draft. Not at all. This is what happens when you don't need, and we needed them. But when you don't need them, it's best to get them because you're going to need them soon, especially if there's a quality guy. Okay, look at what we did with Rome. We drafted him 9. All right, why did I get an offensive tackle? Well, why not get Jared Verse? If you would have got Jared Verse last year, look what he did in LA. Look what Jared Verse did last year. Was he Defensive Rookie of the Year? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You neglected the offensive and defensive lines. How the hell does he do that? That changes this whole defense, which in turn changes the offense because we're going to get a lot more short fields, picks, Fumble recoveries. Jason, bingo. Says Poles took too many. Oh, first of all, let me get rid of this. Sorry. Poles took too many late round swings in O-line instead of investing top picks. Yes. Yes. Give me a Big Ten or an SEC offensive lineman. That's all I'm drafting. Give me a Big Ten or SEC offensive lineman. That's what I want. No disrespect to the Big 12 if they're even around, or the Pac-12, I don't know, 6. How many people are left in the Pac-12? 6? No disrespect to any of those guys, those conferences. But give me I want guys who are playing against guys who are going to be playing on Sunday. If you're blocking defensive ends and defensive tackles and linebackers blitzing who are going to be playing on Sunday on a weekly basis in college, I want those guys. Those are the guys I'm looking at. Those are the guys I want. Those are the guys I'm drafting. And when we're full of those, then maybe I'll go take a project. Maybe. But you can get projects from Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. Still, those 3 schools. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. Go to Alabama. Go to Tennessee. Go to Florida. All right. They're playing against guys who are going to be playing on Sundays. Jason, you're right. Verse and Fisk ripped it up as rookies. Hell yeah, they destroy shit for the Rams. Cornelius, yes, I did I saw a few plays of his. I like. You think he'll be available? So here's what's going to happen. Because of his size and his explosion, if he shows out at the combine, he's going to come up on a lot of people's boards. I think Cornelius, you put him in a mock, didn't you? I think you'd put him in the mock. And then I think I asked you, would he still be there at 149 or something? Yeah, I got to do more. I got to see more on him. But I did check out a couple plays of Darius Alexander. That's a nice size boy. I'm liking that with him. Bellissimo says, I trust Miles Hinton in round 6 over Braxton. Okay. But I'm excited. I'm excited where the franchise is going. And most importantly, I'm excited about the culture that's going to change. I'm excited about the coaching staff that they have. All right. From all reports, everybody who's coached under him or coached next to him or played for him all say that Ben Johnson is a psycho. They say Ben Johnson, when he gets on that field, he is a dictator. He wants his shit done his way. Ask no quarter, give no quarter. I said I need it done this way. I want it this way. And I like it. King Booker World says, don't watch college ball, so leave this up to y'all. But free agents, I say get a right guard, left guard, and a center. Keep Tevin his depth. I don't think you're going to keep Tevin just because he's hurt too much. Like if you keep him and he gets hurt, like when he goes in, someone's hurt, and you're going to walk. When he goes in, you're like, man, I hope Tevin doesn't get hurt. That's the first thing you're going to say when Tevin goes in for someone who got hurt. Like, man, I hope Tevin doesn't get hurt next play. I think they just need a fresh break from each other. He needs a fresh start somewhere else. And I love Tevin. He just couldn't keep it healthy here. Just couldn't. He's going to go somewhere and be a fucking Pro Bowler. Hey, listen, guys. 2 hours is come and gone. I want to thank my guest, Beth Mishler-Elmore, for coming on today, talking Bears. I want to thank you guys, man. This chat was lit like a Mother Hubbard today, man. Woo, Charlie. Jason, I'd keep Mark Pryor over Tevin. Yeah, Matt Pryor, not Mark Pryor. Mark Pryor is a pitcher for the Cubs. He's not, and a pitching coach for the Padres. He's not or Dodgers. He's not playing tackle or guard. Yeah. Yeah, I'd keep Matt Pryor over. Yeah, I agree. That's a good call. But I want to thank Beth Mishler-Elmore, who covers the Bears for Heavy.com, for coming out talking Bears with me. And I want to thank you guys. The chat was lit. Woo! I loved it. Jason, UK, good to see you, Papa. It's been a while. Glad you're able to stop in today. King Booker World, be smooth. Barrelissimo checking in from across the pond. I got two people from across the pond. I got Jason and Barrelissimo. Cornelius, Shawn, my man Junior, Patty, Black Diamond, King Booker World. I'm trying not to miss anybody. The Plankster is in the house. All right. And everybody else who chimes in on a daily basis, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love and support. I really do. We're working on a whole bunch of different stuff. Trying to get down to the combine. Rick Gonzalez, thank you very much for checking in. Junior, as always, my brother, I appreciate it. We're working on trying to get down to the combine, start interviewing some players and some coaches, and I think that I'd be very, very excited if I get to get that done, which I'm working on now. Since it's at the end of the month. I've been a hustle. But hey, listen. Guys, you have a phenomenal day. If you're in Chicago, stay warm. All right, remember, let your loved ones know you love them. All right, we got Second City Sports coming up at 12:15 p.m. Central in about an hour and 15 minutes from now. All right, I'll replay this tonight at 6 o'clock, so you'll be able to catch it in case you missed it. You'll be able to catch the whole thing. Like my man Junior said, fly, wrangles, fly. Be smooth. Thanks, Baba. He says, great show today. Way to start a week. Thanks, Shawn and chat. Take care, everyone. Jason across the pond says, great show, Shawn. Thanks. A big salute to the chat as always. Beast Smooth says, go Raggles. That's awesome. Hey, guys, have a phenomenal day. So everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, have a phenomenal day. All right, your boy, the SuperBack. I am out.